reality, Pokemon is usually a pretty happy, fun-themed franchise aimed at all ages. But weirdly, many Pokemon have a disturbing, frightening side to them that's only revealed in the Pokedex. Many of these Pokemon have been shown to commit unspeakable, cruel, or gruesome acts, sometimes killing their victims, or worse. Or some are simply at the mercy of a hellish fate they can't escape. Surprisingly often, they're more like the kind of things you'd hear in horror stories. It's these type of Pokedex entries that give Pokemon their true original title, Pocket Monsters. So why don't we count down the top 10 darkest Pokedex entries? Because it's silly and someone's probably already done it? Good points, but let's do it anyway. And for this list, I'd like to invite two good friends of mine, one whom I rather blatantly stole this idea off of.
Hey, didn't I already do a video like this?
Hiya, Dennis. Yeah, I know, but it looked like a lot of fun to make, and I wanted to give my own take on the darkest entries. Would you care to join me?
I'd be glad to help. It's good to see you again, Strider.
Likewise, my friend. Please welcome Hoodoo Hoodlum's Revenge.
Hey, Strider and Dennis! Got room for one more?
Of course, Robin, always. Any anime stuff is more fun with you around. Please welcome Anime America. Anyway, let's begin. Number 10. Phantump. Let's start with one that's always really chilled me to the bone. A lot of the Dex information on this ghost type is vague, but according to the Sun Pokedex, Phantumps are stumps possessed by spirits of children who died while lost in the forest. In fact, their cries apparently sound like meek little screams.
Do you suppose they mean the screams of children? Aldersson's Pokedex claims that Phantump will specifically imitate the voice of a child in order to lure people in, which causes them to get hopelessly lost in the forest. But perhaps these Phantumps aren't simply imitating, but reliving the memories of their past lives.
I guess they could be. Apparently, these child spirit Phantumps want to be friends. But getting people lost in the forest doesn't seem like a very friendly thing to do.
I know, right? But somehow it gets worse. What unnerved me the most is when Phantump made very clear its identity. You see, I was once given a Phantump with the name Child number 4583.
Whoa, are you sure? To imply thousands dead seems pretty dark for a Game Freak to do.
Well, I can't quite remember if it was from an NPC or just a sick joke from a player. But anyway, poor Phantump's entire story is a bit of a downer. Robin, do you have anything more cheery to say about this Pokemon?
Actually, I do. According to Ultramoon, a cure-all can be made from an infusion of its leaves. That's nice.
Yeah, stump or not, at least the kid can still better the world in their own way. Good for them, but stop luring people into the forest, dang kids. And for number 9... Gorbis.
Ah yes, the Gorbis. It has a real way with strangers. Its Pokedex entry in Pokemon Sapphire has a chilling hidden gem. Although Gorbis is the very picture of elegance and beauty while swimming, it is also cruel. When it spots prey, this Pokemon inserts its thin mouth into the prey's body and drains the prey of its body fluids.
Wowzers! And I've heard this drinking the bodily fluids of its prey trend is more common in the Pokemon world than you might think.
That it is. You see, Heatmore has a similar Dex entry in white, this time referencing its prey, Durant. Using their very hot, flame-covered tongues, they burn through Durant's steel bodies and consume their insides.
Ugh, I know science and evolution can be hilariously cruel like that, but ew. And you know, Kabutops was apparently the ancient pioneer in this creepy bodily fluid trend. Its silver entry states, with sharp claws, this ferocious, ancient Pokemon rips apart its prey and sucks their body fluids.
Even a Pokemon with a demeanor as innocent as Beautifly is secretly out to brutally drain other Pokemon of their bodily fluids. Beautifly's entry for Diamond states, it has an aggressive nature. It stabs prey with its long, narrow mouth to drain the prey's fluids.
Ugh. Anyone else suddenly feel like pulling out the bug spray? Beautifly, beautiful or not, I'm sure more teens know friend to that bodily fluid draining mouth of yours. So yeah, these entries are distractingly morbid, going to great lengths to detail these Pokemon's eating habits. Mind you, it does bring into question their, other group habits.
Ah, careful, Strider. You don't want to accidentally summon Miss YouTube now, do ya?
Right, sorry. Moving on. Number 8. Dusknoir. Ooh boy, this guy is one majorly nasty case study. Dusknoir is another sinister Pokemon, both in looks and its behavior.
Dusknoir is said to travel between the human and spirit worlds.
Its design was modeled off the Grim Reaper.
Quite right. Not only is Dusknoir directed to take Pokemon and humans to the world of spirits, but he also devours humans for their souls and spits their lifeless bodies right out.
Yep, Pokemon Shield states, with the mouth on its belly, Dusknoir swallows its target whole. The soul is the only thing eaten. Dusknoir disgorges the body before departing. And you know, it's kinda chilling, knowing that Dusknoir can completely dissolve a human's life by encapsulating the body, and then it just leaves the empty carcass afterwards. I'd hate to be the poor schmuck that eventually discovers the body.
I actually remember seeing a Dusknoir in the wild areas of Pokemon Sword and Shield the other day. I wonder how many trainers' souls these things gobble up per day.
Well, I did battle one the other day, and I have been finding goth music more appealing lately. So if you see one, I say either capture it, evolve it, and raise it like I did to curse any Pokemon that you can't defeat, or give Dusknoir a taste of its own medicine, and send it hurtling back to whatever creepy crevice it came from. I'm guessing Lavender Town. That place is messed up.
Dusknoir, let's go!
And for number 7, Palossand.
It's the evolved form of Sandygast! It's a Palossand!
This nasty little horror is known by many as the Beach Nightmare. Why? Well, as the Pokemon Moon entry tells us, buried beneath it are masses of dried up bones from those it has dragged down into the sand and eaten the souls of, siphoning away their vital essence while they're still alive. What a charmer. You know, Ghost-type Pokemon are among my favorite Pokemon types, and they always have been. But can I maybe have one that hasn't got a giant mound of dead bodies below it? And it somehow gets worse. Its Pokemon Sun entry states, possessed people controlled by this Pokemon transformed its sand mound into a castle. As it evolved, its power to curse grew even stronger.
Apparently I was gathering up sand until the next morning.
So not only is it going to eat our souls, but it's also going to possess us to do its evil bidding. What a jerk. Palossand is definitely one of those Pokemon that makes me think, nah, I think I'm okay with not having Pokemon in real life. Number 6. Drifloon.
Drifloon is a pretty innocent looking Pokemon really. It looks harmless enough when you see it, but don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, the Drifloon and Drifblim are quite the odd, insidious pair of Pokemon. I remember first seeing them in my copy of Pokemon Pearl, and I've never quite known exactly how to categorize them. Are they a ghost type, or are they just a really creepy, ugly Jigglypuff?
Well, whatever they are, many of their Pokedex entries detail their intent on abducting children. And for Drifbloom, they go for the adults. I wonder where. Take me with you.
Drifloon's Heart Gold and Soul Silver entries state, it is whispered that any child who mistakes Drifloon for a balloon and holds onto it could wind up missing. Drifblim adds to this in Sun, chronicling, there was once an incident where a man took a trip riding a Drifblim, only to go missing. The idea that a human can completely vanish is already pretty weird, but to have a Pokemon single-handedly cause so many abductions in the Pokemon universe is very odd.
Their entries sound eerily similar to many urban legends and myths of our own world. With their motives being very vague, why are they kidnapping these victims anyway?
I don't know. Drifloon's Sun entry speculates they take them to the afterlife, or maybe they just drop their victims to their doom.
Well, nothing's been confirmed, except that all of their victims have permanently vanished. Number 5. Slagoon. Okay, how about a Pokemon that eats its trainers in horrible, painful, and disturbing ways?
Oh, you've gotta be kidding me! A Pokemon that eats its trainers!
Yep, if you train one, it will almost certainly try to melt and eat you at some point. Quite calmly and without worry, because according to Sun, it has trouble drawing a line between friends and food. It will calmly try to melt and eat even those it gets along well with.
Apparently it's a pretty gruesome process too, because Moon says, this Pokemon's mucus can dissolve anything. Toothless, it sprays mucus on its prey. Once they're nicely dissolved, it slurps them up.
Okay, if they do that, who would ever actually risk training this thing?
Well, actually, I trained one myself for its evolved form. You see, when you level it to like 50 and it's wet, it'll evolve into Goodra, one of my favorite Pokemon and an important part of my team. It's a much more friendly and, less horrifying Pokemon.
Okay then. The Goodra's Pokedex entry states, it's very friendly towards people. If you grow close to it, Goodra will hug you with its sticky, slime-covered body. Don't get mad. Well, I won't get mad if it can cover my dry cleaning.
Well, sticky or not, I would have no problem raising a Pokemon that hugged me often.
Yeah, Goodra's nice. I mean, at least it's not trying to eat us anymore, or kill us in horrible, disfiguring ways. I guess it was going through puberty? Either way, if you can train it to around 50 and it gets rainy, you've earned yourself a good-hearted companion, and a personal favorite of my team. Number 4. Mimikyu.
Well, so we've reached the notorious Mimikyu.
Yep, we had to cover him somewhere here. For a ghost type, some people consider Mimikyu an adorable Pokemon? I don't know, I guess it kinda sorta looks like a Pikachu, if you squint, and are drunk, and it's pitch black and you've never seen a Pikachu before in your life. Okay, frankly, it's a god-awful disguise that no one could ever be fooled by. I mean, Ash probably was, but this is the guy that looks 10 at the age of 33, so he's got bigger problems.
But despite it trying to look like Pikachu, it's all a facade. For Mimikyu's true identity is so sinister, so wretched, that it must be concealed. Its entry in Sun states, its actual appearance is unknown. A scholar who saw what was under its rag was overwhelmed by terror and died from the shock.
Its Ultramoon entry echoes a similar idea. It states, a gust of wind revealed what hides under this Pokemon's rag to a passing trainer, who went home and died painfully that very night. Ooh, spooky.
Yikes! I mean, I realize it's no Care Bear under there, but really?
Really. In fact, when Meowth first sees it in the anime, he outright dies for a moment. Unless you watch the American version.
I almost took a trip down that long tunnel again.
Mimikyu's appearance is so impressively grueling that it causes all that witness it to perish. How horrifying would it actually have to look to do that? Like, is it a creepy eldritch horror from beyond our dimension? I remember one of those that also had that same problem, actually. But also like creepy eldritch girl, its appearance is so horrendously displeasing that it becomes incredibly lonely.
Apparently this is why it tries to disguise itself as a Pikachu, so it can try and make friends with other Pokemon. Aww, makes you just want to hug it.
Maybe Miss El Seo Creepo should have tried that tactic. I'm sorry to bring it up again, but you know, throw on a bear costume like they did with Santa in South Park episode 201. Try not to let her horrifying eldritch tentacles slip out the side.
You know, it seems like Mimikyu's backstory is actually quite sad.
Yeah, these are sad stories. Well, hopefully in a future Pokemon game, poor Mimikyu will get a decent enough facelift that we can all stand to look at it for a few seconds without dying. And the third darkest Pokedex entry is Duskull. Unsurprisingly, another ghost-type Pokemon. So what's wrong with Duskull? Well, what's right with this little monster? Its primary goal is the suffering and pain of children, or stealing them into the night if they misbehave.
Duskull's Pokedex entry in Platinum states, it loves the crying of children. It startles bad kids by passing through walls and making them cry. Many of Duskull's other entries detail its love of the sound of children wailing in fear.
It doesn't get much better in its other entries. Apparently it likes to spirit bad children away. Abducting children away forever is not cool, Duskull. Unless it's those 3 brats from Elfenlied.
Yeah, it's a pretty insidious concept for a kid-friendly game like Pokemon. And preying on and feeding off the fear of children is definitely up there in the evil department. There's no shortage of cruel Pokemon in the series, but not many of them specifically relish in the suffering of children. Nasty Ghost, but your evolved form is still great for cursing people in Battle Tower. And the second darkest Pokedex entry is Gengar and Gigantamax Gengar. Since the series first began in 1996, Gengar has been the staple ghost-type Pokemon. In fact, from the series' beginning, he's one of the first 2 Pokemon we ever saw. But how the Pokedex often describes it can be pretty unnerving. The Pokedex in Pokemon Sun states, should you feel yourself attacked by a sudden chill, it is evidence of an approaching Gengar. There is no escaping it. Give up. The last two sentences firmly establish there is apparently no escaping the fate Gengar will hand us. No matter what we do, all that is recommended is complete and utter helplessness. I mean, the Pokedex entry may suggest that, but I certainly don't. If the underground toilet stall doors start opening and closing randomly and you get a little chill, just get out of there. There is escaping it.
Well, the temperature in the room does drop when Gengar enters, so maybe that's a good clue to run. And the entry for its pre-evolution Haunter isn't much better. It strikes at humans from total darkness. Those licked by its cold tongue grow weaker with each passing day until they die.
Ugh. And if those weren't bad enough, then how about the entry for Gigantamax Gengar? It lays traps hoping to steal the lives of those it catches. If you stand in front of its mouth, you'll hear your loved ones' voices calling out to you.
Oh, come on! None of these entries even try to hide the fact that this thing is out to kill us. And now it's gonna try and lure us in with the calls of our loved ones? What a jerk.
I'd hate to imagine witnessing it firsthand. Hearing a close friend or family's voice pleading for you to climb into Gengar's mouth to save them, only to meet your end.
Gengar has managed to maintain his title as one of Pokemon's most disturbing creatures over all 8 generations. And before we get to number 1, let's go through some quick honorable mentions. Drampa. Introduced in Pokemon Moon, Drampa is a Pokemon that is often portrayed as a friendly, cuddly dragon that protects kids. He essentially feels like Pokemon's take on Barney. So when he gets a really strange Pokedex entry, it's kinda jarring. Pokemon Ultra Sun states, if a child it has made friends with is bullied, Drampa will find the bully's house and burn it to the ground. Jeebus, Drampy, take a chill pill.
So apparently Drampa is a mass arsonist?
That is one bad-tempered dragon.
Cubone and Mandibuzz. Many people probably know, Cubone has one of the saddest stories in the series, with it wearing the skull that belonged to its late mother, often weeping loudly about it, causing Mandibuzz to attack it from the air. Sun and Moon entries even comment on the fact that Mandibuzz loved to prey upon the Cubone specifically, lining their nests with their bones. What a sad state of affairs for our poor bony friend. He still does have a mean skull bash though. Good on you, buddy. Mega Glalie. When Mega Evolution was revealed in Pokemon X and Y, it was described in that usual flowery Pokemon way. A new power is achieved from the great bond between Pokemon and trainer, yada yada yada. You've heard it a million times before. But Mega Evolving ain't all sunshine and rainbows for everyone. Particularly Mega Glalie. The Pokedex in Ultra Moon says, the power of Mega Evolution was so strong that it smashes Glalie's jaw. Its inability to eat leaves Glalie irritated. And personally, I repeatedly Mega Evolve Pokemon in battles. So Glalie, old friend, let's get crack-a-lackin' that yapper of yours. Glalie is one of the most overlooked Pokemon, but buddy, my sympathies for those repeatedly snapping bones. Xatu. Xatu's seen some things, man. Xatu's Pokedex entry in Ruby reads, Xatu stands rooted and still in one spot all day long. People believe that this Pokemon does so out of fear of the terrible things it has foreseen in the future. This was written before 2020, so here's hoping we've already seen one of the horrifying things it was worried about already, and dealt with it as best we can. And I'm not disagreeing we're in for a bumpy ride, but I am curious what horrors Xatu's seen in the near future. Maybe he saw climate change coming. Anyway, on to number 1. And I think the number 1 darkest Pokedex entry is Yamask and Cofagrigus. Wowzers, and I thought the others were bad. Alright, so apparently Game Freak said, hey, let's create a Pokemon that is a dead person, and as it grows, the trainer can watch it slowly lose the remaining shreds of soul and humanity it had, eventually evolving into a mindless Egyptian horror that traps and mummifies its victims for all eternity.
People who approach Cofagrigus are swallowed and turned into mummies.
That sounds pretty disturbing. What's the Pokedex say about it, Dennis?
Well, to start with, in Pokemon Black it says, each of them carry a mask that used to be its face when it was human. Sometimes they look at it and cry. It's not often directly stated that a Pokemon was once a human being, and this suggests a pretty morbid backstory for the entire Yamask species.
So every one of them was once a human being that died and became whatever they are now. And that mask of theirs is just an ugly reminder of their last shred of humanity. What an awful and sad fate.
Yeah, and it's obvious too that your mask misses its humanity and desperately wants to go back, to return to a point they can never go back to. That is bleak.
Okay, so what happens when it evolves to Cofagrigus?
That's when things somehow get even worse for it. It adopts a new personality, forgetting who it once was, and using its coffin body to swallow unsuspecting victims who get too close, and turn them into mummies.
People often think of Cubone when they think of sad Pokemon, but at least it matures and overcomes some of that sadness when it evolves. Post-traumatic growth, perhaps? But when your mask evolves, it loses the remaining humanity it had, and embraces the mindlessly malicious monster it has become, trapping its victims inside itself for all eternity and turning them into wrapped up corpses. Jeebus, we're in a Pokemon game, right?
I still remember battling one a while ago. When any of my Pokemon attacked it, their ability instantly changed to Mummy. Wasn't that cute and inconvenient?
Yep, I guess your Pokemon got too close. Fortunately, our Pokemon's mummification disappears after we beat this poor, sad, undead, mindless, empty husk into the ground 10 times over. I feel pretty safe about calling your mask and Cofagrigus the darkest Pokedex entries in the series to date. But you know, for me, seeing this ruthless side of these Pokemon actually gives the series an extra foot in reality. Real nature and evolution can be ruthless. And it makes the kind-hearted Pokemon like Goodra or Lapras feel all the more special when you find them or train them. And thanks for checking these out with me, Robin and Dennis. This vid was way more fun with two of my friends helping.
Sure, anytime, Strider, and it was nice meeting you, Robin. I'll see you two around.
You too, Dennis. See you guys later.
Take care, you two. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.